This is the story of a young farmer who fell deeply in love with a beautiful lady by the riverbank, only to discover that beneath her beauty lies a disturbing secret. But first, please hit the subscribe button. Love by the Riverbank. There was a young man named Ndukwe in Anyoma village. He was good looking and his band never lacked yams. Ndukwe was admired by all the women in the village, but he paid no attention to them. Despite being charming and good looking, Ndukwe had never been in love. He spent most of his time farming yams. When he wasn't farming, he was looking for medicinal herbs in the forest. Anyoma was a small, quiet village, but was rich in tradition. The people worshipped their gods and respected their ancestors. Stories of spirits and gods were common, but none were taken lightly. There was one particular story that always made people uneasy. It was the story of Olamma, a beautiful young woman who died many years ago, who was said to still roam the land, waiting for her true love. Ndukwe had heard this story many times as a boy, and he believed it. But as a man now, he chuckled each time he heard children telling Olamma's story. He no longer believed in such things. Spirits, ghosts, and wandering souls didn't scare him anymore. He was convinced they were just stories meant to keep children from wandering too far into the forest. But fate had a strange way of proving people wrong. One evening, Ndukwe was returning from his farm when he felt an unusual heat from the sun. The sun was setting, but the heat felt like it was midday. So he decided to cool the heat at the nearby river on his way home. As he walked along the path that led to the river, he saw a young, beautiful woman washing by the riverbank. She was beautiful, with skin as smooth as a night and eyes that seemed to glow in the fading light. Her white wrapper was wrapped loosely around her, and her hair flowed down on her back like a waterfall. Ndukwe stopped in his track, surprised. He had never seen her before, and he knew everyone in the village. She looked at him, and in a voice as soft as the wind, she said, "Nna, why do you walk alone?" Ndukwe was captivated by her beauty. "Who are you? I've never seen you in Anyoma." She smiled with her teeth shining as white as the moon. "My name is Olamma." Ndukwe felt strange warmth in his chest at her name, but he didn't know why. "Olamma, from whose house?" She looked at him with a softer smile and a warm look in her eyes. "Maziokore," she replied. "I do not know your father," he said. "I do not know yours either," she shrugged. There was something odd about her, but he pushed the thought aside. They spoke for a while by the river, and Ndukwe found himself drawn to her in a way he had never felt before. As night fell, she carried her basin of laundry and disappeared into the mist as she walked home, leaving Ndukwe feeling dazed but enchanted. From that day on, Ndukwe returned to the river every evening on his way home, hoping to see Olamma again. And each time she was there, waiting for him. They talked and laughed over some roasted yam and pepper sauce he brought for her from his farm. And soon, Ndukwe fell in love. He didn't care that he did not know her father, where she came from, or why she did not do her laundry in the morning like the other women did. All he knew was that he wanted to be with her. He did not hesitate to say "I love you" to her either. Weeks passed and the villagers started to notice how often he went to the river after working on his farm. His friends joked that he had fallen in love with a mermaid, but Ndukwe did not give them a reply. He kept Olamma a secret. Soon, strange things began happening in the village. Crops started dying for no reason. Dogs and goats died. Chickens disappeared, and women alone became sick. The elders believed the gods were angry, but no one could understand why. Some whispered that it was the spirit of Olamma, who had once cursed the village after her untimely death, visiting the village again like he did once every 10 years. Ndukwe ignored the rumors. He didn't believe in the story about Olamma, and he didn't believe that his Olamma by the riverbank had anything to do with the misfortune. But deep inside, a part of him started to worry. One night, when they met by the river, he asked her, "Are you truly a woman, Olamma, or are you something else?" Olamma looked at him with sadness in her eyes. "Doesn't matter. You said you love me, and I love you too. Is that not enough?" Ndukwe's heart ached. He did love her, more than anything, but the stories of spirits and curses began to weigh on him, and he wondered if it was just a coincidence that she shared the same name with Olamma, the spirit woman. Still, he shook his head. "It doesn't matter," he said to her. "I love you, Olamma." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. One evening, as Ndukwe prepared roasted yam and pepper sauce to take with him to meet Olamma, an old woman named Akweke came to his house. She was the oldest woman in the village, known for her wisdom and connection to the spirit world. She had seen him sneaking back to his house at night and knew what he was up to. She sat Ndukwe down and told him to stop seeing the woman by the river. He was surprised that she knew about his visit to Olamma. Until now, he believed he kept her a secret from everyone in the village. He asked her how she found out about Olamma, but Akweke left his questions unanswered and went ahead to warn him that she was not an ordinary woman. Ndukwe was taken aback by the things she said. He frowned at the vagueness of her words. She always withheld just enough, never saying what she truly meant or how she knew what she knew, and that vexed him. Akweke eventually gave in to his persuasion and told him the whole truth, that the woman he went to the river to see was Olamma, but she was not alive. She died many years ago, waiting for a man who never came to marry her, and her spirit had been cursed to wander. Ndukwe's heart skipped a bit as he thought to himself, "Olamma cannot be a ghost. She is real. I spoke to her. I touched her." Akweke warned him of falling into Olamma's trap. He asked Akweke what trap she was talking about. "She feeds on the life force of those who love her," Akweke replied. Ndukwe was both frustrated and annoyed. Akweke must be making these things up, he prayed. Akweke left Ndukwe with these last words. "Look around you, Ndukwe. The village is suffering. Crops are dying. Animals are vanishing, and the women alone are becoming sick. Why do you think that is?" Ndukwe had no reply for her, so she answered her own question herself. "It's because of her." Ndukwe could not believe it. Could the woman he loved truly be a spirit? He felt torn between the truth he didn't want to accept and the love he felt for Olamma. That night, he thought long and hard about going to the river and decided he would go one last time. As usual, Olamma was there, waiting for him with her eyes glowing and a soft smile. But this time, Ndukwe felt different. He saw the things he did not see before, the shadows around her, the way her skin seemed too perfect, too natural, and immaculate white eyes. He was trembling. He asked Olamma who she really was. Her smile faded away immediately. She looked down at the ground and sighed. "I am the woman who was once loved but never married. I waited for my husband Ndukwe on the day we were to be married, but he never came. I waited for years, but he never came. I waited, but no one came. And now I must wait forever." Ndukwe's heart broke. He felt betrayed by his heart, by the gods, and most importantly, by the sun. He blamed the sun the most, because were the sun not so hot that evening, he would not have made a stop at the river. And if he did not make a stop at the river, he would not have met Olamma. "I need your love," she said softly, stretching her hand towards him. Fear gripped Ndukwe. He realized he was trapped when Olamma told him it was too late for him to run or leave her. The realization that the woman he loved was not human frightened him. He struggled to believe she was a ghost, caused to wander, and now she wanted to take him with her into the spirit world. Ndukwe backed away slowly, but Olama's eyes turned red with blood. "You promised you would stay with me," she said, her voice echoing through the trees. "You said you loved me." Ndukwe saw her in her true element and ran as fast as he could for his dear life. He didn't stop until he burst into Akweke's hut, breathless. "You were right, she's not human. What do I do now?" Akweke gave him a sad smile. "There is only one way to break the curse. You must burn the place where you met her, the riverbank. That is where her spirit is bound." Ndukwe didn't waste any time. He gathered the villagers and explained everything. They were shocked, but they believed him because they knew the story too. Together, they went to the riverbank. As the flames rose into the sky, Ndukwe felt a weight lift from his chest. But just as the last flame flickered out, a soft, chilling voice whispered in his ear, "You may have escaped me, Ndukwe, but remember, you said you loved me, and love never dies." Ndukwe returned to his house, with his heart heavy and the memory of Olama. He tried to move on, but every now and then he would catch a glimpse of a white figure standing in the distance, watching him. Though the curse had been broken, the memory of his love for Olama's ghost would haunt him forever. Thank you for watching Love by the Riverbank. If you enjoyed it, I can't wait for the next story time. Please like the video so we know how you feel about the story. Plus, if you subscribe to our channel, you know when the next story is out. Bye! See you next time!